Good evening, everyone. So, my name is Rob Areno, aka Redbeard of Uller, and I guess I was trying to make this video here, like a short clip video of just kind of, I guess, more of like a vlog for, I guess you could say, my slow start and maybe rise up to being a streamer or content creator for video games. And maybe just kind of give a little background because I will be posting more on my actual YouTube page of actual highlights, video game footage, and whatnot of my stream, as well as maybe do also a side piece of a vlog. Kind of give you a little bit of insight of who I am. Whether you guys really want to pay attention to it or not is all up to y'all. But I guess a little bit of background about myself is that for years, mind you, I've always been interested in video games, played video games, great hobby and pastime of mine. Always had to make sure that I took care of business first, responsibilities and whatnot, and then off to the video games. But for as long as I can remember, even being a child and, playing video games growing up, I started off with like Super Nintendo and Sega and all them, and then gradually moved up to the disc consoles such as PlayStation 2 and PlayStation and them, as well as the Duke Xbox and what have you. So I got a lengthy amount of experience with console and very brief amount of experience with computer. But nonetheless, is I started kind of getting into this whole content creation thing about last year, kind of a little bit of a late jump start on it, because I never personally had what I felt was the proper equipment or the proper setting and the proper stuff. And I've come to kind of find out it's like if you want to do something bad enough, even if you have very little to go off of, I don't have all the fancy stuff, which if anyone's ever seen my streams, they would know this for sure. So basically, there's that kind of goes with that. So that's kind of been my biggest inspiration behind it is that I've been actually just really, really wanting to go and actually do more with the streaming and actually be involved in the video game industry a lot more, considering it's been a large part of my life and where a lot of my enjoyment has come from, besides having family gatherings and whatnot. And so that's kind of where I'm at with basically the video game industry and the streaming and content creation. As for other things, such as I guess the name, well, as most of you can tell, or some of you may not be able to, I have a pretty thick red beard. And I've always had a very high interest in high calling into Norse views and religions and whatnot. And so I was like, well, what would be something that I think that people could remember me by, and basically go off of that. And I was like, Redbeard. That's what people have always kind of known me for in my adult years, mind you, was Redbeard. So I was like, all right, that'll work. I was like, I think it's easy enough, simple enough for people to remember me by, and it would kind of be a little bit of a catchy thing. So I was like, yeah, we'll go with Redbeard, Redbeard of Ullr, because of course Redbeard seems to also be a very popular surname or a nickname around on the internet world. So I was like, I had to go and add a little bit of extra and flair to it. So there's the reason why for the name. I used to be Reaper X721. I've had that name for many moons, many moons, and I finally just decided that it was time for a change. It was time for me to go and change that name off to be Redbeard and finally take in that whole new gamer name and persona to it. And for those who don't know, the Norse name Ullr, it is actually a patronage, and please, for those who are much more in depth with the Norse religions and whatnot and traditions, don't brutalize me over this. But as for my understanding of it, is that normally Ullr was referenced to basically snow, and was also referenced as the hunter, and he was Thor's basically stepson, if you will. So I thought it was really neat. I thought it was a really good play on thing, and I am also a huge Thor fan as well. So I was like, this just all works out great. So I don't mean any disrespect to anybody out there with the name. If anybody takes it that way, my apologies ahead of time. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoy Norse religious views and whatnot, and I've always been highly interested in it, and it calls to me a little bit. But I would definitely not say that I adapted very highly in any sense of like religiously practice it, if you will. But I appreciate it for what it is. But I feel like I'm getting a little off topic here with this little break-in video of who am I and who is Redbeard and why should we care. So yeah, that's pretty much my kind of break-in intro to video to you all, and I am looking forward to getting more to you. I'm gonna basically have to put a hold on any kind of actual camera view while playing, just because I still don't have a camera plug-in yet for my console to actually be able to do that. And as for the actual streaming setup, it's not as professional looking as maybe some others, but again, you work with what you got. The way I look at it is, if I entertain y'all and y'all want to keep coming back to watch me, I've done my job, personally to me, because that means a lot to me that if y'all want to come back to watch me stream because I provide entertainment for you guys, that's what matters most to me, 110%. It's not always about the flashiness and everything else in between. So, someone shut off my porch light. But with all that being said, is I will go ahead and cut it for this evening. And again, apologize about the lights cutting short. My family decided to turn off the porch lights on me. But thank you for tuning in, guys, and you all have a beautiful evening.